For more on the disaster, we're joined by Jeff Ball. He's a scholar in residence at Stanford University's Steyer-Taylor Center for Energy Policy and Finance. Jeff, first of all, describe to us just basically, if you can, what you've been seeing from your window, and have you had to evacuate, and how many times, if so?
Well, I can describe to you exactly what I'm looking at in my window right now. I'm standing by my window, and it's hazy and smoky. The sky, which at this time of year in Stanford, California, in the middle of Silicon Valley, where I am, would be normally blue and gorgeous, is not. A couple of days ago on Wednesday, as your viewers will have probably heard, the sky around here was a kind of ominous yellowish orange. That's no longer the case, but it's really unhealthy. My family and I and everyone we know are staying inside. We have air purifiers that we brought recently. We've not been evacuated. We're in much better shape than the people in your report, so we're really thankful. But it's a very different September than is normally the case in California, although this may start to look pretty normal going forward.
You've written that America's wildfire policy is burn, build, repeat. In a second, we'll get to how do you fix it, but you noted that there are three forces at play there. What are they?
One force is climate change, which is making fire season longer and hotter. But that's not the only force. The forces of climate change come on top of two other important forces, which are very much man-made. One is policies that encourage people to live closer to areas that are prone to burn. And another is policies that have had the effect of putting more stuff on the forest floor ready to burn. That is fire suppression policies in large part that over the years have pushed back most wildfires that otherwise, were it not for humanity, would have burned and cleared out the forest floor. And in the absence of those periodic fires, which we've become very successful at human beings as fighting, when fires do take root, they're catastrophic, which is exactly what we're seeing now.
What sort of resistance has there been to changing what you state are the problems?
Well, let's just take these problems one by one. Dealing with climate change, as none of your viewers will need reminding, is a wicked problem. If the world were to deal with climate change in a really significant way, it would reshuffle the deck of winners and losers economically in the United States and around the world, and there's a lot of resistance to that. If we were to enact policies that made it harder to build on the forest's edge, and that actually might even contemplate moving people who already were allowed to build on the forest's edge, there would be massive political opposition to that, nowhere more so than in a state like California, where lots of people will know housing prices are stratospheric already, and so anything that has the effect of making housing more difficult to get is likely to face a lot of resistance. Now policies to allow more wildfire to burn in hopes of avoiding kind of ultimate catastrophic wildfire may actually have some political legs going forward because everyone now has seen what happens when massive conflagrations come. But even then, the notion of allowing fire, allowing smoke, allowing flames relatively near people's houses and businesses is likely to concern some people. So none of this is easy.
Jeff, ultimately, who is bearing the cost of all of this?
We all are. Ultimately, we all are, because at the end of the day, well, look, the people who are bearing the cost most intensively are the sort of people who are living near the flames, the people who were interviewed in your piece, who have lost their houses, lost loved ones. So those are the people who are bearing most of the price, but more indirectly, we all are, in the sense that we're all paying for this. I mean, the bill of fighting these fires is massive and ultimately is borne by taxpayers. The bill of rebuilding the infrastructure, which is destroyed by fires like this, is ultimately borne by taxpayers. And then there's an issue of insurance, which is that the people who are insured, who have lost their homes and their property, are going to get insurance for this, and that has the effect of affecting insurance rates for the rest of us. So this is ultimately a huge societal problem, and I think what may be changing now is that we're all unavoidably starting to see that, and we're going to have to reckon with it politically.
Jeff Ball from Stanford University, thanks so much for your insight.